From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Dom Mitchell. A Canadian Armed Forces veteran who went missing in Afghanistan in November is no longer in that country, according to the federal government. Foreign Affairs Minister Melanie Joly says Canadian David Lavery has safely made it to Qatar from Kabul with the help of the Qatari government. Lavery had been working with the group Veterans Transition Network to provide humanitarian assistance in the Middle East country. British Columbia-based climate change activist says he's at peace with his fate after failing to get a reprieve from the federal government on his deportation. Zane Hack was hoping for a last-minute intervention by either the public safety minister or the immigration minister to stop his expulsion to his native Pakistan. Hack pleaded guilty to mischief charges in 2023 over his role in environmental protests that blocked Metro Vancouver roads. Central banks in Canada and the U.S. will announce plans for their interest rates this coming week. Michelle Franson with more.
All eyes will be on the Federal Reserve this week. The board will announce its next interest rate decision on Wednesday at the end of a two-day meeting. Economists expect the Fed to hold interest rates steady. If that's the case, it'll be the first Fed meeting since September that the central bank decided not to cut rates.
Canada's central bank will also reveal the monetary policy report on Wednesday as Canada faces the threat of tariffs from U.S. President Donald Trump. The CIA believes COVID-19 most likely originated from a lab, but it has low confidence in its findings.
The CIA now believes the virus responsible for COVID most likely originated from a Chinese lab, according to an assessment that points the finger at China, even while acknowledging the spy agency has low confidence in its own conclusion. New CIA Director John Ratcliffe on Fox News Sunday Morning Futures.
The CIA has assessed that the most likely cause of this pandemic that has wrought so much devastation around the world was because of a lab-related incident in Wuhan. And so we'll continue to investigate.
The finding is from a report under the Biden administration. President Trump declassified it.
President Trump needs to have the very best intelligence so that when he's negotiating with President Xi and other adversaries, he's able to confront them with the things that we know.
I'm Julie Walker.
And U.S. President Donald Trump sharing his future of Gaza, floating a plan Saturday to move Palestinians.
President Trump telling reporters on Air Force One he wants Jordan, Egypt, and other Arab nations to take more Palestinian refugees from Gaza to potentially clean out the war-torn area to create a virtual clean slate.
I'd like Egypt to take people, and I'd like Jordan to take people. You're talking about probably 1.5 million people, and we just clean out that whole thing.
Trump says he supports building housing in these Arab countries.
It could be temporary, it could be long-term.
And says he's already spoken to Jordan's king and will speak with Egyptian leaders Monday. Trump also resumed delivery of large bombs to Israel after the former administration paused it. Meanwhile, a delicate ceasefire involving the release of hostages continues between Israel and Hamas. I'm Julie Walker.
This is the Canadian Press. In sports, NFL playoffs, we're down to the Final Four. NFC Championship, the Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington Commanders are currently in the fourth quarter of that game. Buffalo Bills on the road facing the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. The title game will be played February 9th in New Orleans. 5 games in the NHL today. The Colorado Avalanche beat the New York Rangers 5-4 in the only afternoon game. 3 Canadian teams are in action tonight, with Winnipeg hosting Calgary and the Ottawa Senators home to Utah. In the professional women's hockey league, Minnesota beat Boston 5-2. There's just one game in the NBA with Canadian superstar Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the Oklahoma City Thunder in Portland against the Trailblazers. And Yannick Skinner defeated Alexander Zverev in 3 sets to claim his second consecutive Australian Open championship. The 23-year-old Italian has won 3 of the past 5 major tournaments, including the 2024 U.S. Open, and he also rose to number 1 in the ATP rankings last June. From the Canadian Press, I'm Dom Mitchell.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.